Construction defects in another Sydney tower. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because we're going to talk about construction defects in another Sydney tower. Now, defects happen, it's just a part of construction. A building, an apartment or a house is not like a consumer product of a factory line. It's not the same thing again and again. Even the same design has different sites, different unknowns, different conditions, different people building it. All of these things can come together so defects can appear. And, that's why you have a defects liability period after the building is practically complete, where the builder has to come back and rectify and repair any defects. That's just normal. It's not something to be concerned about. What is concerning is the number of defects that are appearing, or the way that buildings are procured. So the person responsible for building the building is also responsible and employing all the people that traditionally would police the construction process. That's where conflicts of interest can arise and issues can manifest. I don't know if that's happened in this example, but it's good that they're getting the light of day, even if some of the defects aren't as serious as others, just so people start to take this seriously. But still, people are buying stuff off the plan. I don't know why. Before we get into that, I want to draw attention to the sponsor for today's video, and it is the Architectural Practice Exam. This is a piece of software we prepared a couple of years ago. It's a quiz exam, a multiple choice exam where you just answer questions, multiple choice, shot at you to help you prepare for the Architectural Practice Exam. To become an architect, you need to sit the APE in every state and territory of Australia. It's a logbook, it's an interview, and an exam. So we created this to help people prepare for the exam. So check it out now. You can get it at games.heise.com.au. So with that out of the way, let's have a look at, one issue I want to draw everyone's attention to, and that is Precedent. Now, if you have a look at the construction playlist here on this video, or even the playlists for particular buildings, like Mascot Towers, like Zetlands, like Sugar Cube, many more, and not just in Sydney, in Newcastle, in Brisbane, in Perth, in Melbourne, in Adelaide. I'm getting people ringing up and telling me issues of construction that they're having on site. One gentleman, building maintenance guy, he was distraught because the owner of the building wanted him to cover up some mold and just hide it from the tenants, from the occupants. So there is certainly precedent with regards to construction here in Australia, where issues have manifest. And we're seeing a lot of it in Sydney. Now, this is because Sydney has overheated. Now, I'm going to bring up a chart here. This is the Foreign Investment Review Board, and it's showing you how many building approvals. See that black line, how it's nearly at 100%? In 14, 15, 16, 17, how many of them were for foreign investors? We had a lot of foreign investment money coming into Australia, a huge amount of it, everyone. And this results in an overheating market. This results in people cutting corners. And there's another quote that I will just find. I've just reorganized things here, so it's a little bit messy. But this is from Matt Berry, and I've got to get his picture back up there. But in his essay that he wrote about how our housing market, Australia, built on a house of cards. In 2016, 67% of our GDP growth came from Sydney and Melbourne, which is expected. Where both federal or state and federal governments have done everything they can to fuel a runaway housing market. And, that's happening again, isn't it? The small area from Sydney CBD to Macquarie Park is in the middle of an apartment building frenzy, and that alone contributed 24% of the country's entire GDP growth. All of the growth in Australia, 24% of it, was from that area there, that apartment building frenzy. So you can see why I'm a little concerned, everyone. So let's jump back here and have a look at this defect that's come to light. And thank you to the viewer who sent this to me, because we need to talk about this. More people need to be aware about it. Even if the defects aren't that serious, and I haven't read this article yet, so I don't know, at the very least, people start considering it and thinking about it. So, drop to certain death. Unbelievable defect in a Sydney apartment tower. We'll have to see. Sydney is no stranger to apartment defects, but the deadly drop found in this one could set a benchmark for danger. The defects in Piety Group 1's The Waterfront Complex in the Western Sydney suburb of Wentworth Point have been detailed in a series of building management reports leaked to the ABC. Among the problems with the recently completed development are a malfunctioning sewer pipe and a gaping hole in the fire stairs that could be fatal if someone fell through it. Stage 1 of the precinct includes about 270 apartments across 5 separate towers which were completed in 2019. Now, I'm surprised how a gaping hole in the fire stairs could get through. I'm surprised the certifier would allow that. Surely they'd be walking up every step. Maybe something's been removed. Maybe something's been happening. Maybe they've got just a temporary... They're waiting on something to arrive, and they've got something temporary in place. The sewer pump not working is, I mean, these things, they fail. Guys, they fail. The critically urgent issue with the fire stair in Building D was detailed in a building management report issued in June, which said it was first raised in April. Where is this? The incomplete fire stair seen from below. Okay. What? The stairs are... Okay, that's crazy. So maybe was this... How? What? I need to show this one to Rachel. This is insane. Okay, I mean, I'm flabbergasted. That's dangerous. You fall down there. I mean, why wouldn't you put a bit of ply there at least? Get a bit of ply there, even just bolt it in temporarily. To say, how can that happen? But then again, I've seen similar stuff like this. A fire stair out at Ipswich train station. I was out there for a job doing a safety inspection, a design report, and they were picking up all these little things. And I'm saying, I took the QR people there. Look at this fire stair. This is an escape point from down there. It's full of all this junk lying there. Can't be used. So the building can't be occupied. The report found that while the hall was addressed in April, a gap still existed in the stairs 2 months later and was large enough that children may still fall through. It also warned the existing hall could impede the stair pressurization fans used to protect occupants in the event of a fire. About 20 other defects were also listed in the report that the developer has agreed to rectify. Well, they have to rectify it. Is that the hall? Are they falling down there? Why isn't there a staircase, a balustrade going over there? How is that? So that's it there. They included water leaks throughout several levels of the basement, cracking in an exterior podium, and a sewer station which has been fixed after coming very close to flooding multiple lower units due to incorrectly installed pumps. And all this is telling you guys, don't buy off the plan, number one. Okay, seriously. And wait till the building, till the defects liability period has been proven to actually have a builder that's coming back, have a body corporate that's willing to put the pressure on the developer. But Piety Group has declined to rectify several other issues. It said were maintenance matters, including water pooling outside Building D, cracked tiles at the entrance to Building E, and efflorescence residual marks on an exterior stairway. See, this is the negotiation, the back and forth, where honestly some building body corporates need to maintain their buildings. They need to know there's a cost associated with maintaining these buildings. It's not all on the developer. You've got to hand it over at one point. So, yeah. I mean, if someone cracked a tile, it depends. If the tile's just damaged from someone walking or doing something, we'll have to see. Void in the stairwell secured, the developer said. Okay, so a Piety Group spokeswoman said the company was committed to fixing all building-related defects, as they should. She said the void in the stairwell was secured when it was first raised and that it was addressed again after the June report warned it still posed a risk. So did someone remove something? Maybe they removed this for the photograph and took all this down. Maybe that's what happened there. There is a void at the bottom of Building D stairwell, which will serve a future stage and has been secured, she said. When the building management recently notified us of an issue with the current security of the void, it was secured within 24 hours. Okay, so they identify. Where's the photo showing that? That's what I'd like to see. Because this is what you want. You want defects happen, guys. You want the developer to go out there and solve it. Okay, the issue is when you're doing a construction project, you traditionally have a bank guarantee. You've got two of them. And what you do is you give one back after a certain period, and another one, or one when you hit practical completion, and one when you hit after the end of the defects liability period. So you can draw upon that if you need it. If there are any defects, you've got money set aside, or you can have retentions and these type of things. It's been a while since I've actually had to look at administering a contract as an architect, because that's a dying skill too. No one does it anymore. We had a project where for the architectural practice exam, I've got staff now. Well, no, sorry, former staff that are now sitting the exam. They've gone, after they worked for Heise Architecture, they went and worked for big firms. They're still using some of the experience that they got in my firm, just observing administration of contracts, because that's all they could get. No one does it anymore. It shows you. And you people wonder why anyone would work for me when I make you stand up. It's because I made sure they got experience that could actually help them register. That's why, and become an architect. Anyway, she also said work was still being done to determine the source of the water leaks throughout the basement. Yeah, that's... As with any water leak, it's a process of elimination, she said. We're committed to fixing all water leaks. The spokeswoman said the company believed wet wipes were to blame for the sewer system backing up. Well, yeah. Yeah, I can see that happening 100%. I don't know why people throw the damn things in. I mean, do they all have babies, or are they all so precious they use them for themselves? They're not meant to go in the toilets, guys. They're not meant to go in the toilets. A plumber advised the building manager that the issue was caused by residents flushing wet wipes down the toilets. And so that's not a building defect. That's not a building defect at all. That's a maintenance issue. So it's not the developer's fault. Here's the thing. You've got to understand. Sometimes everything will be called a defect, and the body corporate will try and blame it on the developer and the builder. When it's not the developer or the builder, it's them not maintaining the building properly. That happens more often than we realize. So we'll have to see. I mean, as long as they rectified this, it happens. You really should have documented it with a temporary, you just put a balustrade in there, a physical, actual balustrade. You get a piece of web forge, whack it in there. That's what you do. And then remove it later when you're building more of the staircase in the future. That's what you should have done. But, there you go. So what is the solution to this one? Now, there's a few suggestions. One would be, with regards to these buildings that are constructed, would be right at the beginning of the project, particularly if you're buying off the plan. Once a certain number of people already paid their deposit or bought the buildings off the apartments off the plan, they get a say in the development. A body corporate's already formed. You probably can't even do it. Or we have to look at some other body with that's representing the interests of the future owners, sitting on every development meeting, on every correspondence, CCs, on everything. So they've got a say on what the developer's doing. That was a suggestion that Rachel put forward. I think that's a very good one. We need to look at a way of encouraging that. Otherwise, you've got just, bureaucrats running around trying to save the day. Another thing would be to have multiple certifiers on a job. But, I mean, if this was temporarily built as put in place, the certifier said, okay, for temporary work, that's fine. Or maybe they didn't even see it. But still have multiple there, so that the potential risk of a conflict of interest of the one party controlling everyone that's meant to police the process or paying them all, removing that. And that's the issue with the design and construct procurement method that's used on these buildings most of the time. I'd be shocked if any developer builds an apartment building with a traditional procurement approach, because so few people do it these days. So there we have it, guys. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on that one in the comments down below. Thank you all for watching. If you're a fan of the channel and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.